Ugh. Hang on. I'm not gonna be able I'm not gonna be able to do this. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Talon. I make new videos every single week. So if you like what you see, consider clicking subscribe. We are at SEMA 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and my truck is here. Never had a vehicle at SEMA before, and it's probably in one of the coolest areas at the entire show. So the Tacoma is here at the Black Rhino booth, and maybe you guys have already noticed, but we've got some new wheels on here. This is one of their newest wheel models right here. This is known as the Black Rhino Soul. So it's essentially like a 5-spoke, and this is a positive 30 offset. So I previously came from the Baharis and then the Stadiums in a positive 38. So now at a positive 30, it's poking a little bit more with the portals and everything, but they ended up looking really good on the truck. Again, I kind of like the black wheels, like the Stadiums that I just had on here. Been switching out wheels a lot, but they asked me to run these for SEMA since it's new. They've got quite a few new wheel styles. I can't even keep all the names of them straight, but here is the same wheel on my truck, the Soul, in sort of like a white gray color. These would actually look pretty sick on my truck too. We've got wheels with rock guard rings and all different kinds. Ooh, these are cool. I don't know what these are called, but I like those. I feel like those would look good on the Corolla. Now, one of the cool things about being here with Black Rhino is that we are in the Hoonigan BURNYARD area, which, in my opinion, arguably one of the coolest parts of SEMA because of the BURNYARD. I don't know if you can tell, but both myself and Ashlee
are doing so great.
We're doing so good right now. Losing. Oh my God.
I wish I was staged.
Yeah. Not joking. Not feeling the best right now because we spent so much time at the BURNYARD with a VIP pass for like the past couple of days. It was incredible. So check out some of these shots.
What?
Pull your glasses off.
Best shit in skincare, ladies. Burnt rubber. It was great.
It was great.
Apparently.
Sucking in all the smoke.
I've never been to a Burnyard before.
Ashlee had just rubber all over her face.
You can insert the picture right here.
Yeah, this is what we looked like. It was awesome. On top of seeing stuff like that though, there are so many super iconic cars here. And this one was released right next to my truck. I think for the first time seen in public. This right here is Travis Pastrana's new Gymkhana car, the Subaru Brat. The Brattaroo, I think is what they're calling it. And this thing is absolutely insane. I believe it's like somewhere a little bit north of 600 horsepower. It's got all of this crazy active aero all around it. This might be one of my favorite cars or trucks here. I'm not sure when that Gymkhana video is releasing, but they filmed it in Australia, and this thing is just incredible. Would you drive it?
Yeah. I like the Brats, they're cute.
Speaking of iconic vehicles out here too, a lot of you have probably seen this before, specifically out by where we live, ripping up Pikes Peak. Ken Block's daughter here kind of passed the torch to her, and this thing is really cool to see in person.
I would drive this one because it's pink.
Yeah? She was signing autographs yesterday.
Balls. Too
We
bad
missed
we were
it.
dead.
Yeah, I was dead. Stayed in the hotel the whole time. So huge thank you to Black Rhino for allowing me to have one of my vehicles here. They transported it out from Colorado, so we flew in, which was nice. And maybe next year I'll have something new here. Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. Now today is the last day of this show, and we have a couple of things that I want to show you guys. Specifically Toyota, they also invited us out here to get some early access to some of their new concept vehicles, and you guys have probably seen a ton of it already, but I will give you some of my thoughts on it. And then I think we should find Ashlee a new car too. She hates her RAV4. I don't know why. It's a great car.
Hate. Double hate.
She just wants something bigger. So
Loathe entirely.
we're gonna get some of Ashlee's thoughts on vehicles, which should be fun.
That's what everybody needs. That's what the world wants.
Yeah.
My opinion.
All right, we finally made our way over to the Toyota booth, and this is one of the largest, most impressive booths at the show pretty much every single year. They have a lot of cool stuff, including this entire GR section right here. This one in particular behind me is the BZ Time Attack. Kind of a concept, but it is a real thing. This is essentially a BZ that they have completely souped up. This is all-wheel drive, all electric, making, I believe, over 400 horsepower right now. And when we were here for the release with Toyota, they were giving us a rundown of all of their cars. And they have this thing at a really nice point where it's making a ton of power, and with the driving dynamics of the lowered suspension, the BBS wheels, they have upgraded brakes and everything. Full-blown race car, essentially. They're at a point where they can actually push things a little bit further and make more and more power. So I'm not sure what Toyota is going to be doing with this, but Pikes Peak Hill Climb would be kind of perfect for something like this, being all electric. And there's a lot more to see here at Toyota, so let's work our way down towards some of the trucks. Over here is a GR86 Cup car, which is actually what I wanted before I bought my Supra. I was waiting and waiting forever to get an 86, and then they released the Supra with a manual transmission. So speaking of Supra, they have all kinds of race cars here. GT4, this thing is insane here. Full carbon bucket seats, fuel cell in the back here. It doesn't even look like a Supra on the inside. And then you guys already know what this is. Let's see what they did to this. TC race car. I don't know what they did to the motor, if anything, though.
She's just so fast.
Do you think this thing has a check engine light code that I've been getting for forever? Wonder if the PCV valve works in this car. More GR Corollas. That's essentially my exact car right there.
Minus the check engine lights.
And then this is another one that was on the press embargo that they kind of talked about. This is a new Camry, a GTS version, and I kind of like the color, obviously.
No.
So they've done a lot of stuff to this too. They did some upgraded brakes and a full aero kit on there, which I believe were all designed by Toyota as well. The interior on this thing is really nice too. Would you drive a Camry?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
They're reliable
I did,
though.
actually. I've driven 2 Camrys in my life.
Whoa.
Did I total one of them?
Yeah.
I might have.
Yeah, checks out. But you're alive because they're safe.
And I'm alive. Yeah, it was bad.
So although Ashlee doesn't like her RAV4, this one right here is the newest version of the RAV4. They went through a complete redesign, and this is the GR Sport version of it. So it's cool to see Gazoo Racing putting their badge on more Toyota products now. The difference between this one and one of the newer RAV4s is, I believe, sort of like a suspension package, so a little bit lower and a stiffened chassis. So I talked to a friend who actually was able to drive one of these when they first released them, and he said that this thing is actually really fun to drive. It looks pretty fun to drive. Would you pick this over your RAV4?
I was going to say, my RAV4, I mean, she's fast. She's just...
Your RAV4 is fast?
I may or may not get up to 90 without knowing that I'm doing 90. That's my definition of fast though, guys. Now, this is what Ashlee likes.
Yeah, so now we're getting into the stuff that you guys have definitely seen. I shared a few photos and stuff of a lot of these like concept builds that they're doing. This one in particular, it's probably the cleanest version of a 60 series that I've ever seen. And I'm surprised they don't have the hood popped on this, because there's a reason this thing is sitting here. They actually don't even have a photo of it, but luckily at the release, they popped this hood. They even started this vehicle. This thing has a powertrain of a brand new Tundra in it. So twin turbo V6, it sounds absolutely incredible. I don't know what kind of exhaust they have on it, but it sounds better than my Tundra. And then if you look underneath, this thing is actually running the stock FJ60 transmission with an adapter plate that adapts it to this motor. And that just kind of goes to show that a vehicle that probably originally made like 130 horsepower. I'm not sure how much the FJ60 made originally, but the Land Cruiser was never a fast vehicle, but now with the iForce 3.4 liter, it's making 389 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, all going into the Land Cruiser transmission, which is crazy. I believe this is a manual 4-speed as well.
Damn it, it's manual?
5-speed, manual 5-speed.
Son of a gun.
Everything on this interior is just like cherry. The paint looks pretty damn perfect. It's just got what, like 35s and nice wheels, nice exhaust. I think you need a 60 series.
Well, I'm not opposed.
Now for the thing that kind of broke the internet a little bit. This was one that was also embargoed. So we were here the night before release and they unveiled this thing. You guys know Toyota and Scion, which you haven't heard of Scion in a couple of years now, but Scion was always Toyota's kind of like proving grounds for kind of weird, strange vehicles. If you think of any Scion out there, it was always kind of unconventional. And then Scion went away, but they actually brought the name back now with this guy, UTV, the Scion 01 concept. So there are quite a few things about this that make it a little bit cooler than most of the side-by-sides on the market right now. I would say it mainly stems from the drivetrain. So this is the exact same drivetrain from a TRD Pro Tacoma. It's a 2.4 liter turbocharged motor with the hybrid battery. The hybrid battery actually sits up behind that spare tire that's mounted on the back there. So the batteries are fully enclosed back there, and then underneath it is the motor from a Tacoma. So making the same amount of power. I asked one of the engineers, he said it was not detuned or anything. They're running a solid axle rear and they're still using the 8-speed automatic transmission. So no CVT. We don't know for sure yet if this drivetrain is going to be reliable, but I've had zero issues with my truck over the past like a little bit over a year now. And if it sticks with Toyota reliability, then this one should be no different. It's making over 300 horsepower and over 400 foot-pounds of torque. It's probably, just thinking off the top of my head, one of the most powerful side-by-sides on the market right now. Again, just a concept, but this is kind of where my mind is at right now. I don't think they would push a prototype concept as far as they've done this and continue testing after SEMA if they weren't really thinking about making it a real product. So will it be expensive? Yeah, of course. It's a TRD Pro drivetrain essentially, so it would be competing with like the top of the line Polarises and Can-Ams that are on the market right now. There's a ton of cool stuff with this. Unfortunately, I can't go in there and like show you the inside, but I did post some stuff on Instagram if you want to see kind of what the cockpit and everything looks like. So stoked on this one. Now this one, which you guys have definitely seen on the internet already before this video came out, this is the H2 Overlander concept. This is a Tacoma that is completely powered by a hydrogen fuel cell. So crazy technology going into this, and Toyota has already experimented with hydrogen-based vehicles in the past, and they put it onto, I believe this might have been kind of like a trail hunter. Actually, I'm not even sure. This whole thing is completely built though. There are blue TRD upper and I believe lower control arms as well. Method wheels on here. Underneath you can kind of see this thing has skid plates all the way under the entire thing. TRD rear links here. Fox 2.5 suspension on this, and then a GFC, which they made some like custom molding for the doors here. There's actually a lot of really cool stuff on the inside, but they have it closed as of right now. One of the cool things about using hydrogen to power a truck like this is it's converting it into electricity, so it's kind of like an EV, but powered by the hydrogen. The emissions, or like the exhaust coming off of a vehicle like this, produces water. So the water is actually then stored and filtered, and when you get to camp you can use that for cooking or showering or hosing stuff off. So it's kind of like completely offsetting carbon footprint for the company as a whole. This thing's pretty built up though. They got a cool bumper, roto packs for more water storage. Also on the inside here they have a Dometic fridge with a slide out, and then a kind of custom grill that is also powered by hydrogen. So I'm assuming they have a way to basically tap into the hydrogen fuel source of the truck and you can cook with the same hydrogen. I've only ever seen a hydrogen station in like California, so it would be a very long time, I believe, until something like this became like a full reality. But it's really cool when Toyota builds concept vehicles like this, because if they get good feedback, then that generally means they're going to actually further develop some of that technology for future vehicles. So would you drive a hydrogen powered Tacoma? Would you?
I think so. Yes, I would. Mm-hmm.
You would, okay.
I cannot.
My brain hurts right now.
Yeah, I'm not doing well.
And then last but not least, over here is sort of a concept vehicle of the Corolla Cross. So this is the Nasu edition, and there was a lot of parts developed for this car, which you rarely see these on the road. At least I don't see Corolla Crosses pretty much anywhere, but it reminds me of something that I used to drive back in the day. So they have basically widened fenders and ground effects all across here, wheel and tire package, and they also actually partnered up with Fox to build a bike up here that matches everything. They basically took this little Corolla Cross and turned it into like an overland rig, and out of everything that they have here, this is definitely, like, I would say most of my speed. This is kind of how I build my vehicles anyway. I don't really have a use for a vehicle like this, obviously having the Tacoma that basically does everything that I need, but I think they did a really good job with developing all these kind of like custom parts, and seems like they may offer something like this in the future, but again, who knows? So huge thank you to Toyota for having both Ashlee and I out here. It was awesome to see this stuff before the rest of the world did, and I'm excited to see where they take these vehicles in the future. Let's test Ashlee's knowledge of vehicles.
Oh, great.
Whose car is this? Where have you seen this car before?
Well, it says Fast and Forever, and so I'm assuming...
It says what?
Fast and Forever?
Fast and Forever?
Now I feel like I'm not even close. I was gonna say like one of the Fast and Furious movies. What's his bucket? Rest in pepperonis. Paul Walker. I almost said Rudd.
What kind of car is it?
An orange one. An Honda. Hyundai.
All right, I'm leaving.
Damn, that thing's clean. That's a Ford Bronco. I think Wednesday Adams rides in that car. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's awesome looking. 3 for 3, but you don't know what a Toyota Supra is.
That orange one's a Toyota Supra?
Yeah.
Ah, man. What are you going to do?
Ooh, I see another really famous car up ahead.
Oh, no.
Let's see if you know this one. Brother.
It's Ken Block's car.
Yeah, because it says it on the sign right next to you. I don't know if you guys have watched the Gymkhana documentary on Amazon Prime, but you should if you're into Gymkhana and Ken Block's whole legacy and everything. It was so cool watching how they built this and then all of the filming behind the scenes of everything. This thing is just incredible. More Fast and Furious cars. Jesse's Volkswagen. Jesse, don't do it. S2K. Another Supra and a GTR. Look at the HREs.
My sister would be losing her mind. Do you think I could trade my RAV4 for one of these? Same
I
price
support
point.
it. I
Same
support
price point.
that.
Same price
Yeah.
point for sure.
You can mount a turret on the roof, machine guns,
Look at that.
assuming this entire thing is bulletproof.
It's a sunroof.
Yeah, that's where the turret goes.
What's a turret?
Machine gun.
Look at all the space in the back for groceries.
Yeah, lots of space for
So
groceries.
many dogs
back
could
here.
fit in here. Sign me up.
Making our way through the show, this is something that caught my eye the other day, something that relates to me and how I build my vehicles. I'm really stoked on this, and they just released this on Tuesday. So I'm here at the Fox booth, and over here we have their factory race series. Same setup on my Tundra and Tacoma, but now they're making a live valve kit for it. So essentially, this is my exact setup, but I have DSC controls here. This now utilizes their live valve system, so it's all electronic and it can be adjusted on the fly. Over here is kind of a cool like graphic wall of how everything works. So instead of turning your high speed and low speed compression manually by hand, hopping out of the truck and moving around, everything is controlled by these dials right here. On-road, off-road, comfort, balance, sport, and it connects to an app as well, so you can see things in real time like the compression in all 4 corners. They figured out a way to basically tie this into the ECU of the truck for a bunch of telemetry data like roll and yaw and different axes and stuff like that. It also gives you information on the steering and the throttle inputs, braking controls and everything like that. There are a ton of different selections that you can make, and I've never ran a live valve suspension on anything other than my old Razor. This is similar to what you would find on like a Raptor. So being able to swap your suspension settings on the fly means I would change my suspension a lot more. Don't have to get out of the truck to do it. And this is going to be hitting the market very soon, I think in like Q1 of next year. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to retrofit my 3.0 with the live valve insert, or if I would have to change out my suspension entirely, but this is something that I'm really interested in checking out in the future, and I think you guys would like it too. Now, speaking of suspension, right next to Fox is the Liquid Springs booth. I really have no experience with liquid springs, except for the one time I tested a vehicle that had them on it. This is probably one of the cooler trucks here at the show.
I want this.
I'm not sure how this is even here. It's a 2025 Toyota Land Cruiser. It is right-hand drive. It's got the Bowen flatbed conversion on the back here, and it's running this new liquid spring system. Yeah.
Little Camber Wamber riding in the back here.
She could ride in the back. So there are some adjustments over there. As a guy taps the button, this thing raises and lowers. I think it's like 7 to 9 inches that you can change. the ride height of the vehicle. It's actually really quiet too. Why don't you go over there and tap the buttons?
Oh.
Put it down on its lowest setting. Here.
I would love to. Oh, get out of here.
Now the rear's going down.
Whoa.
Now the front's going down. I'm curious if this has the auto leveling system. I'm not sure if they have that on all of the Liquid Springs products, but on big camper trucks like a Ford F550 with like a box on the back of it, when you pull up to camp, some of their systems have an auto level feature. So imagine this having a tent on it. Instead of throwing rocks or max tracks under your tire to get the truck level, if you could just hit a button on a system like that, and then the whole truck would level out. That way everything is nice and flat while you are sleeping at night. Can't believe how quiet that actually is. Pretty cool setup.
Thing's wild.
Flashing back home in Colorado. Tacoma's back in Colorado, and SEMA I think was a success, even though I was down for the count there for a couple of days. Definitely got some kind of smoke inhalation poisoning there, but it was definitely worth it. Super fun. Huge thank you to Black Rhino and Toyota for both hosting Ashlee and I out there. We had a blast, and I'm definitely going to be heading back next year. Hopefully a little bit healthier so I can capture a little bit more of all of the cool stuff that SEMA has to offer. Now, I haven't driven this truck in about 2 weeks because it was down there and then just got back today. And let me tell you, I missed it. Driving this thing on portals with the entire setup is so fun. And I'm excited to take it on some more adventures. We still don't have snow here in Colorado, which is kind of crazy, but it should be coming soon, so hopefully I'll get out on a few more trips and then we'll get into winter camping, which sounds fun for you guys to watch, but honestly, it's not my favorite. So that's all that I had for now. If you guys are new here, consider clicking subscribe and make new videos every single week. As always, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.